Hey everyone, my name is Andrew Langfield, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the Dolly Zoom, or some people call it the Vertigo Effect. This effect has been made very popular through films and TV shows as an effect that shows some drama or maybe some suspense or some paranoia. You'll even see it in some animated films such as Ratatouille or The Incredibles. So we're going to learn how to do that one. It's also a really cool effect that you guys can do to just show off a place and give it a little bit more of a dynamic look to it. You can use drones for this, you can use digital cameras. So the proper way to do it, the way that people are supposed to do it, is with a actual zoom, a zoom lens. And as they zoom out, they're actually pushing in, or they're dollying out and then they're zooming in, keeping the same perspective the whole time. We're not going to be doing that because it's very hard to time the zoom with a actual zoom lens and a dolly in by yourself. So in today's video, what I'm going to be showing you guys is how to do it digitally. So what you're going to need is a camera that shoots some high quality footage. I'm going to be shooting in 4K. If your camera can't shoot that, don't worry about it. It'll still get the effect. It'll just look better if it's in 4K, since you are going to be digitally cropping in that image. You're going to have the extra pixels to be able to do so. I'll be using a gimbal, not necessary, but it definitely helps the process to keep everything smooth in a same dolly motion. You guys can use a dolly. If you have a skateboard will work. Be creative, try to think outside the box. If you don't have a gimbal, this can be done even handheld. You just put a little bit of stabilization in the computer. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go outside. It looks like a beautiful sunset today, so we're going to go shoot some things, and then we're going to go into the computer and show you guys how to do this dolly effect in the computer. Let's get into it. All right, so I'm downtown here. So this one here is just gonna be a simple push in. You'll notice that as I'm pushing in here, I'm trying to keep that middle fountain in the middle of my shot as steady as I can. This is at 28mm, and I've got my glide cam set so that it's stuck on one spot and have my autofocus. So there's my shot. Since it's just me out, it's gonna be harder to find a subject that you guys could do this with, but it works really well if you have a subject in the middle. So I'm gonna try to find something that works as a subject, maybe a tree or a statue around here, that I can kind of do this dolly zoom so you guys can see what it looks like. Ooh, this actually might work. This little bell sign as a subject, so let's try that. So I'm actually gonna do a pull out on this one. So let's start nice and close. And this effect works better if you have a wide angle lens. So maybe something wider than 28 would have been better, but in this case, that's what I had. I'm gonna try this other shot here. In The Lord of the Rings, there's this one shot where the trees seem to open up, and they do this really cool dolly zoom that just kind of looks like all the trees are opening up. All right, so here's my last one before I go home. Let's try this one. I hope this one comes out good because this shot is just really cool. All right, so we're back into my computer here. This is the timeline that you guys just watched. And just so you guys know, I have added there these 3 clips, or actually just 2 clips of a dolly zoom. I basically just put a skateboard and then threw it back, and it just slid back. Let's see, there's that one, and then there's another one here. I thought it'd be a good idea to mess around with some actual faces so you guys could see the dolly zoom with an actual person, me. So let's go ahead and start with the bell one. So I'm gonna do a couple ones here so you guys can see and get the hang of it. So the first thing you wanna do when you get your clip is find your in and out point. So I know that this bell clip I was pulling out. So let's go ahead and find maybe there. And then real quick, we're gonna find our end point, which was maybe there. All right, so now once we've got your shot like that and you're happy with your in and out points, what you're gonna do is now adjust your beginning and your end so that they match. So for example, right now, this one is very big and is close up. This one is very far. So we're gonna make this one now match the first one. So what you're gonna do is open up your inspector, and then you're gonna put keyframes, and then you go back to the beginning and add some keyframes there. Let's go back to the end, and we're gonna zoom this in until we get to about the same spot as the beginning was, which was maybe right there. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. I also like to put my finger right on the screen. For example, I have my finger right now on the screen at that point, so that when I go to the end, I know that I'm off by that much. So let's bring it down and over to the left. Also, I like to see how wide it is so that it makes sure that it's just as wide. That looks about right. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and play it and just see what the effect is. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. So once you've done that, if you're happy with that, you can leave it there, and that is the effect. That's the Dolly Zoom. If you want to take it a step further and you want to do some speed ramping, what you want to do is then nest it or create a compound clipped. So let's call this bell. Now that we've nested it, now we can change the speed. So you can change the speed multiple ways, but I'm going to do it Shift C in Resolve and then just zoom into this little arrow. Then you're going to see one that says retime speed, and that's how I like to retime my speed. So now I'm going to add 2 keyframes, one at the beginning and one at the end, and then I'm just going to speed up the middle part just for dramatic, dramatic emphasis. Let's go ahead and smooth out those keyframes. And now that you've got this speed here, you can do all sorts of things. One that I'm going to show you guys how to do is this boomerang effect. So I'm going to duplicate this, and then what you're going to do is going to make sure that you compound that clip once again. So this is going to call it speed, because you can't reverse it when your speed is not linear. So I'm going to click reverse speed, and then you're going to remove the beginning and end frame of the top one. So let's go ahead and move 1 frame to the right, and then remove 1 frame to the left. Once you've got that, then you're just going to place it right next to it, and then grab the beginning clip and duplicate it to the end, and then grab the middle one and duplicate to the end, and you can continue this cycle as much as you want. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at that effect. That's really cool. I love that. If yours was not as smooth as mine because I had a gimbal, what you can do is you can always go down here into your stabilization and apply some warp stabilization if you're in Premiere, or the stabilization effect in Resolve, just to stabilize it a little bit further. But I'm really happy with that, how that turned out. So let's go ahead and do the same thing onto another clip. Wow, that looks cool. Here's another one I did with the same principles if you guys want to see this one. Yeah, so that one turned out pretty good. It kind of looks like the building's bending in and out. And here's one more example here that I shot. This is the one that I was trying to do the Lord of the Rings. I didn't really like how this one turned out because the car was passing by and the car just is in reverse and forward and it's speed ramped. But at least to give you guys an idea of what you guys can do with this effect. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you guys did, make sure to give it a like, drop a comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in next week's video. See ya.